everybody. Thank you guys so much for having me here today. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay. So welcome to In-House Solutions' 30th anniversary. This is such an incredible milestone, particularly for the industry that we're in, and it's something that I'm very proud to be a part of. I was actually here 5 years ago for the 25th anniversary, but at that time it was my father giving the speech. I took over as president about 3 years ago, and it's been an incredible journey so far. So Mastercam is also celebrating a big anniversary, 35 years. Again, something to be incredibly proud of. When my dad came up here 5 years ago, he had a slide that he put up, and it showed all of the competitors that he had competed with over the last 20, 25, 30, 35 years. And there aren't that many left, and particularly private, family-owned cam companies. There's really just a handful of them. So we're kind of in a unique position, and it's something that we hope to continue for the next 35 years. So what's happened in the last 35 years? Well, this was 35 years ago. The company was actually started 2 weeks before I was born. I know you're thinking I can't possibly be 35, and I'm not yet. I'm 34, a couple more months. But as Felicia said, I've been with the company for 9 years, but I've really been around this my entire life. And I feel absolutely privileged and humbled to have been a part of this for so long, because I've managed to meet some incredible people along the way, Ed House and Claire House being two of my favorites. So this is a pretty great place for me to be today. We also have a picture. This is my father and my uncle Jack, and they are the original president and vice president of the company. And they did an absolutely phenomenal job of setting up something that is sustainable, and that has created this community that so many people are a part of. And of course, we've got a picture of Ed. I think he's calling my dad there, getting in-house started and making a deal to start selling Mastercam. So who are we today? Like I said, we were founded in 1983. We are family owned and debt free. Our main campus is in Tallinn, Connecticut. It's about a 2-hour flight from here. Right now we're at about 175 employees, and those employees sit in several offices, the majority of them being in Tallinn, Connecticut, but we also have offices in Seattle, Washington, Switzerland, India, and China. So we are truly a global company and continuing to grow. It's kind of amazing to where we've gotten, and at this point we've got a lot of remote workers as well. So we're really embracing that next generation and how the millennials like to work. So we've got a lot of promise for the future. We spend a lot of time talking about kind of our foundations. What are the pillars to the company? And one of the first ones is that we are a responsible global community member, and it's about kind of the internal, who we are as a company. Like I said, our home office is in Tallinn, Connecticut, but we use green technology there. So we make sure that we do things that, it's not just about producing CAM software. It's about being a company that is responsible and is adding value to the entire planet. We have a solar array that up to 2/3 of our electricity is generated by that solar array. And the other neat thing is we're a geothermal company, which means we don't use oil to heat the building. So that 2/3 of electricity includes the heating and cooling of the building as well. So that's something that we're proud of. We also do things like we have a compost program that the employees volunteer for. We have a garden outside that people get to tend, and we've got people that pick food, and our employees go grocery shopping on the way home. So small things like that help to add to our culture. And we're adding more ways every day to manage our environmental impact. But what's the important thing of that? Well, the piece of that that's important is we end up with some incredible employee engagement. And for us, that's one of the ways that we define our success. It's not just what the revenue is, it's how many people are smiling when they walk in the door to come to work. We've had people that have been with us for 20, 25, 30 years. The turnover is incredibly low, and we attribute that to the culture. The interesting thing is I was talking earlier today, we've got a couple of in-house employees that have also celebrated some milestones, 20 years, 25 years with the company. And I think that says a lot, that the people that we partner with are very similar to who we are, at our core. The values are the same, and I think that helps to increase consistency and to make us really very strong partners. And again, being that global community member, we do a lot of things locally to help improve our community. We're partners with the local food pantry. We do a lot of work with the local high schools, but globally as well, we partner with different programs to make everything better. So the next pillar of our company is the technology. I mean, that's our bread and butter. That's what we do. And we do have a proven technology in the CAM industry. People like to consider us the industry standard. We have over 35 years of development, and right now our programmers department, we're up to, I think, 45 or 50 developers. So, if you think about that, every year that a new release comes out, that's 45 to 50 man-years of development. That's a lot of new technology, that's a lot of new things that are going into the software, and if you multiply that by 35 years, well, you end up with a pretty great CAM software. And the other thing is that we've always focused on CAM. Our mission has been the exact same since we've started, and that's to develop toolpaths. It's kind of a neat thing, especially in the industry when there are all these mergers and acquisitions, and it seems like the focus has shifted, but we have been that steady company that's focused on CAM, and that's what we do, and we do it well. And the other thing is that we've really changed our development process. It's a very advanced process that we're using, and I think that's helped to increase our accuracy, our quality, and just the overall development of the product. So, anybody out here recognize this? A couple people. So this is what Mastercam looked like when it first started. And then we moved to this. Could you imagine using that now? So I know that there are several of you that use the software, and new releases, some new functionality gets put in, or the interface gets changed a little bit, and I'm sure that you have silently or not so silently cursed us at one time or another. But I assure you that the changes that we're making, we are doing it based on customer feedback and input, and we're doing it to make your jobs easier, so that now what you use looks like this. It's a far cry from where we started, and a lot of things have changed. But again, our process is based on usability and user experience. We actually have a new department. I believe it was about 5 years ago that I spun this department up, and it's called the User Experience Department. And their focus is on making sure that the usability of the software, the workflow, how you experience it is as good as it can be. So the changes that we're making are hopefully to make things more effective for you all. And again, it's based on input from the customer, and the process that we use allows for user input a lot earlier on in the cycle. So we really value that feedback and look to you guys to give us that direction. So the final pillar of CNC Software and what kind of holds us up as a company is our global Mastercam community. We have a reseller network with decades of industry experience. We have all sorts of outlets for people to connect. We have forums, events, and other users. We've got training. So the forum is a fantastic place for people to get together. We actually just sold our 250,000th installation of Mastercam, which means there are an incredible number of users out there using the exact same software. And those users are a support network. Those are people that can help you solve your problems, and a forum is one of the ways for that to happen. Education. This has always been a focus of ours, and we've understood that if we can get into education and train students using Mastercam, then industry has a lot easier time of plugging in those employees, that they're already trained and ready to go. And so we make sure to provide certain materials like Mastercam University, and we're incredibly lucky to have partners like in-house that produces some incredible and high quality training materials as well. So we've really built the foundation for the industry's strongest global community. Our reseller network includes 117 resellers selling in 75 different countries, 15 languages. We've got sub-resellers, corporate partners, regional partners, and over 20 years of experience. And I gotta say, the resellers that we have, I mean, for me, again, I've been in this industry since I was born, so they're more like family to me than partners, but I could not be more proud to be connected to the people that I am, because they're the most technical, the most knowledgeable, and they provide the best support in the industry. And this is just a little bit of a span, but we have over 1,027 agencies supporting and using Mastercam. So it really is a global company. No matter where you are in the world, Mastercam is a universal language. So it kind of opens up the doors to the world, which is kind of a neat thing for me. And one of those incredible resellers is In-House Solutions, and they have been one of our strongest, most loyal, and longest partners. And without people like In-House, we wouldn't be where we are today. They lift us up and push us to do better. You know, I said earlier, there's a lot of things that are very similar about In-House as to CNC Software, and it's great because we do, I think there's this play on each other, and we kind of push each other to do better. You know, I'm motivated by what In-House does, and I believe the same goes for them. You know, so it's a really neat partnership, and you know, hoping to continue that for the next 35 years. Just a quick picture. This was 15 years ago. Ed, you look exactly the same. Nice job. And again, that's my father up there. Kind of a gem in the industry. He's a pretty amazing man, and I owe it to him to be able to stand here today. It's a different industry now, but we're sort of standing out as that strong, reliable company, and we're doing an incredible job right now, and poised to be very strong for the next 30 years. So where are we going? Well, we're going nowhere, but we're going everywhere. You know, we're staying exactly where we are. We're focusing on the CAM industry. We have no plans to make any changes there. I started as president 3 years ago, and I am absolutely loving what I do. So I have plans to continue to run the company as it is for a very long time. I have 2 children, a son that's 6 and a daughter that's 3, and you know, my dream is to see them up here in 20 years. So it's a pretty great thing. It's a privilege to be a part of. And what next? Well, we've got Mastercam 2019 coming out. Should be out for sale. You guys might be seeing that already, and I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about that today. And even though Mastercam 2019 just came out, we've actually been working on Mastercam 2020 for the last 6 months. There's always work going on, and we're doing what we can. There's a lot of focusing on solid selection, solid chaining for 2020, large part file handling, doing things to make your jobs easier. But the other thing is that we're constantly looking at the trends, and this industry, there are a lot of fads and trends, and so for us it's making sure that we do the right kind of research and development to follow the trends that are going to really propel us to the next generation. Some of those things you've certainly heard about: additive manufacturing, Industry 4.0, cloud technology, subscription. What are the things that we get behind, and what are the things that we don't? And for us to be able to do what we do with just 175 employees competing against companies with thousands of employees, it's making those right decisions. But we always say we don't want to be that next Polaroid, and we've put an incredible structure in place back at headquarters. We are looking at all of these technologies and doing the right things to make sure that we are sustainable for the long term. And finally, the rest is up to you. Like I said, the input from the user base is really what drives this software. It's what are you guys looking for? What do you want? What's going to make your job easier? So the more that you provide us that input and feedback, the better we get. We do this all together. It's not just us at corporate making it happen. It's kind of that entire Mastercam community, those 250,000 installations, those over 1,000 agencies supporting Mastercam, and hundreds of thousands of users out there making the software better every day. So thank you again, Ed. I appreciate you inviting me up here. It is such an honor to be able to talk to all of you guys. And now, that's it for me. Thanks.
So welcome everyone. It's really nice to see that everybody could kind of take some time and come here and enjoy the day with us. I really hope that you have a good day today, and that before leaving you kind of leave with something, some knowledge of value that can be useful to you in some way or another. I also wanted to really thank Meghan and Doug Nemeth. Doug Nemeth is in Mississauga, helping our office group there. Meghan's obviously a very busy person, very important person, and I do want to thank her for joining us and contributing to the value of this day and the celebration. In terms of the Summers, Mark, Brian, Meghan West now, but there's Jamie and Heather. It's been a long relationship. I want to talk more about partnerships a little bit later, but it's really part of in-house's success, or the ability to continue, has been to a large degree dependent upon CNC Software and the people down there. So thanks again, Meghan, for taking the time. The globe is a big place, and you've got to cover it all. We just have Canada, so thanks very much. Thanks very much to Felicia and team for putting this event together. We've been planning it for some time. What's it to look like? Trying to figure out the best value to put into it for the people attending. We've invited a lot of partners here that are experts in their particular area, and we do have definitely a strong team ourselves. So I just wanted to thank you, Felicia and team. So I thought. Actually, I thought I wanted to kind of show you some similarities, because 1988 is when I had an idea and when I started, and CNC Software, or Mastercam, had already been rocking and rolling for 5 years. So I was thinking back, and I started to think back to what makes these two companies continue on despite a lot of the changes in our particular industry. And I started to see a number of similarities. If I look at CNC Software, they're 35 years celebrating this year. In-house is 30. They've been partners for that long. And if you look, in the Wikipedia, a partnership is where two parties agree to cooperate for mutual benefit. So, and I'll be showing you later, CNC and in-house have partnered for a long time, exchanging ideas, information, overcoming obstacles. And I've always kind of looked at in-house as a partner with its customer. It's partly in the name, in-house solutions. I always envisioned the company being a problem solver and working closely with our customer, because you need information, you need ideas, and there's usually a time frame that you're working by. So, and I know our customers are in turn, partners with their customers. So there's a bit of a chain, and in terms of machining and programming your machines, it starts with the software and it ends with the finished product somewhere in the world, and it's quite a chain. And I've always we're kind of, in-house is kind of in the middle, and we kind of enjoy it. It's complicated at times, but it kind of excites us and keeps us going. We're both at this point in time into the second generation. So CNC Software is going into the second generation, a family business. An in-house is going into a second generation of family business. And in both cases, I believe, and I've noticed over the last couple of years, in both cases, CNC Software and in-house have been modernizing, updating. It's almost like a second breath, because it's we had a good marathon and all of a sudden we've passed the baton. There's a transition, we're passing it slowly, but it's being passed, and the second generation can take it and go for another 30 or whatever. So I'm sensing CNC Software and in-house have a second breath. I hope to show you a little bit about that, evidence of that later. CNC Software, at this particular point in time, advancing product development. They're really looking hard, using the latest technologies, hiring really good people to produce better software faster. And like Meghan said, you know, the systems are better and better all the time. And as well as business structure. You know, when in CNC Software, in terms of corporate, you're dealing with the world, you need a structure that can deal with all the legalities of different countries, just to name one. In-house solutions, we're advancing business practices. We're not so much a software developer, even though we do develop posts at a very high level. You know, ours is more about how efficiently can we run and serve the CNC shop, because you know things happen fast, they change quickly, perhaps, and you know we need to figure out how to do that with skilled people. So we're advancing our business structure, and we're always looking for ways to add value, and I'll be sharing that with you. CNC Software, software developer, that's what they do. Distributor second, or global distributor. In-house is a value-added reseller. So we take this Mastercam product that's growing nicely, and we try and add a variety of value all around that particular product to help you guys do a more efficient job of machining, faster, and we're always looking at productivity and whatnot. When I started 30 years ago, I had, you know, I had this idea of making manufacturers more efficient. So I had CAD key and Mastercam at the time, computers, everything of that kind, bringing new technology to the shops. Most CNC shops, well, a lot of shops didn't have CNC machines, and even fewer had CAD/CAM software running on a PC. So that was kind of how we started. So there's a partnership explanation. It's basically it's very important because it goes right down the chain. So you know, when you have a software developer, CNC Software, you have a reseller, in-house solutions, and you have a long run of 35 years, you know, you really you bring this to the table. A lot of these words here for the end user. You know, there is innovation. You tell us what's not working, you tell us what's working, or we see what's working, we pass that on up the chain, and we have ideas, you guys have ideas, CNC comes up with ideas because they do deal globally. You know, there's definitely stability. It really gives me confidence that CNC Software is investing and moving forward, modernizing. That gives me the confidence to do the same thing. We're all looking to advance technologies. CNC is looking at various technologies. In-house is looking at various technologies to make us bigger, better, stronger. And problem solving. You know, the word solutions, I liked it in the name because, you know, I wanted to perceive ourselves as problem solvers. You know, the in-house staff being experts, we can go in with some technology and make a shop better. I mean, that was a return on investment. It's a good feeling. You know, we've developed lifelong friendships and relationships. Okay, yeah, so if I go back to 1988, quickly, I'm a one-man show in the basement of the house. I have an idea. You know, I have an idea. I was excited about PC-based CAD/CAM at the time. And again, you know, CAD key being a mechanical CAD, and Mastercam at the time kind of had a level 1, level 2, so for programming mills and lathes, I got excited about that. So I had this idea and I started working. You know, upstairs to the house was Claire, who obviously had faith, supported me heavily, took care of the family, and a lot of things that would free me up to do what I had to do. So it allowed me to be very focused and work hard. The phone didn't ring. One customer at a time is all I could handle as I was doing everything. Sales, support, post, everything of that kind. So it was definitely a risky venture, and obviously we worked pretty hard to make it happen. CNC Software, I'd be calling down to CNC Software in those days. The two founders, Jack Summers, Mark Summers, were answering the phone. They were just like me, doing everything. And they had a couple of people in the background, but that's kind of where we started. The first person I hired was a graduate out of University of Waterloo, Bob Hedrick. 1989, I hired him part-time. I heard about him through word of mouth. 1990, he joined me full-time. I was in awe because this was a very smart mechanical engineers with masters. I don't believe he's here right now, but he said he was going to be visiting. He's driving in from Windsor. So Bob Hedrick, side by side, there was two of us in a little office up in Guelph, and again, we're doing everything. And he was with me 7 years. Started to enjoy software development. So I was talking to Mark Summers, CNC Software, and mutual agreement. And Bob Hedrick ended up at CNC Software, being a developer of Mastercam for many, many years. Today, he's got his own company, Cam Solutions, out of Windsor, that develops software. So he really helped me a lot, and I just wanted to give him an honorable mention. So other than that, it's pretty much a blur. In those days, it was a blur, but here we are. So 2018, in-house, we're looking at 51 people. We deal mostly with Canada. We have 4 offices with office space, but we have some guys working out of their houses in Alberta and Quebec. So we've grown quite a bit. We've taken on the new products over the last 30 years that complement Mastercam. We're constantly looking for new and better ways, constantly. And some work, some don't work, but we're always looking to kind of refresh. I would say, just to get a little bit more into the specifics of today, 2 years ago we started modernizing. So Allison and John at the time started to kind of look at every department, all the processes, what's working, what's not working, the competition, and the needs of the shop out there. The same that many of us that have your own shop do. You look at every aspect of your business. So then we started we're on this mission of changing a whole bunch of things, updating it, improving it. I call it modernizing. We're looking at improving and updating our CRM, our accounting software. We're looking at adding a ticketing system for tech support to better organize that. We have consultants in that have specialists in certain areas, and between what we know and what they know, I think we're coming out with really, really good ideas and processes that you'll start to see more and more in place over the next 6 months and into next year. We've had our hiring spurts. 51. We're still looking for really good people. We've added, Dave Mitchell likes to say we've stacked the support team. We've had very good tech guys, support guys, and now we've added a bunch more, and that's good for our customer because we can bring more value faster. And the guys we're bringing in know what they're doing. So we're very excited about stacking a support group. The customer is very important to us. We do tend to have a lot after 30 years, and you guys have more demands and requirements, and we're trying to look at ways to deliver it to you. Post-processors, we've got some innovative ideas for enhancing post-processors, certified posts. Between CNC and in-house, we're We're really, we have great ideas, and you'll be seeing some of that before the end of the year. Training materials, like Meghan said, we need to, the software keeps expanding and growing, and there's advanced features being added, and there's tricks and tips, and we definitely need to make sure you're aware of those. Using Mastercam in most cases is a user uses it not necessarily 8 hours a day. He may come and go from the Mastercam system once a week, once every few days, so it needs to be easy and powerful, and we need a lot of automation in there. So between CNC Software and us, that's what we're trying to provide, and then we're trying to make sure you understand what it is and how it works. We've done not a bad job. We can do a better job, and I think we're looking at ways to do a better job of making sure you're aware. Post-processors, training materials. There's actually 2 forums. So CNC Software has a forum. We have a forum. A lot of information there. So really, I think the Mastercam community, 250,000 plus. There's 24/7 support, and it's online. So that's excellent. What else? We've got so many. Every department we're looking at improving, and which is better for you guys. This is kind of gives you an idea. Mastercam's in the center. Obviously, it's our core technology. Below you'll see industry and education. We partner with both, just like CNC Software. It's very important that people are aware of this technology and what it can do. We do need to compete. Shops today need to compete on a global scale, and we need to do it right. So we've been adding different technologies and services around Mastercam, and again, it's basically the feedback we get from you as to what else you could use to help the process. We're trying not to deviate too far from CNC programming and machining and that type of manufacturing, because we want to continue to be experts. We want to be focused experts. To be honest, you guys do teach us a lot, and I know we teach you a lot in return. So I call that a partnership. So that's extremely important. So I just wanted to thank CNC Software, the in-house solutions team, because the last 30 years, our longest term employee is 25. We're celebrating that this year as well. And in-house solutions customers. It's really about people and technology, and we love both. We really like technology, and we like people, and the people at CNC Software are great. In-house has a great team, and I know a lot of our customers, again, long-term relationships. There's Bruce Gibson's here from 3D Solutions. Bruce Gibson worked for a company that was one of my first customers, Pilkington Tool and Die. They're no longer with us, but they were one of my first customers, and I believe they had a Herco. So, Bruce is here, and there's I recognize some other faces. So there's been long-term relationships with our customers, and I think that's kind of rare. So thank you to everybody, and I really hope you have a great day and leave with a lot of value. So thanks very much.